Hi, it's Richard McMunn here from the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I am going to cover a number of pandemic interview questions, and I will also give you the answers. Now, these type of questions are being asked a lot during this pandemic, so I want to make sure you are fully prepared for your interview. And to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover. So I will give you a list of common job interview questions that are asked during a pandemic. I will give you example answers to difficult pandemic interview questions. I will also give you some tips on how to answer the questions correctly. And I will also tell you how you can access further resources, including these slides, to help you succeed. So let's get straight to it. Now, the first question is, how will you work remotely and still complete all tasks? Now, this interview question is assessing your ability to manage your workload whilst not being supervised directly. So when you are working from home, you need to complete your tasks still and maintain high levels of motivation. So working remotely requires discipline. That's the important word here, discipline. So we need to give an answer that demonstrates our ability to achieve our tasks to the right standard. So here's a great answer to help you. How will you work remotely and still complete all of your tasks? I am naturally a disciplined person, so I would have a routine at home whereby I start and finish work at set times. I would ensure there were no distractions, and I would set up a dedicated workspace at home, which I would treat as my office. Each day I would create a to-do list of the different jobs I needed to complete, and I would work diligently until they were all completed. Now, for some people, there might be a temptation to get distracted working from home, but I have the discipline and the work ethics needed to still do the same amount of quality work regardless of my location. So that is good. It shows that we are considering what we need to do whilst working remotely, and we have the discipline to achieve our objectives. The next question: how would you communicate effectively with a remote-based team? Now, working remotely requires an ability to communicate on a greater level than you would otherwise do if working in an office, for example. So in your answer, talk about the importance of scheduling regular meeting calls with work colleagues and also keeping in contact with your manager or your supervisor. So here's a great answer to help you. How would you communicate effectively with a remote-based team? Here we go. Whilst working remotely, the standard and the amount of communication amongst work colleagues would need to increase. I would schedule regular calls and video conferences with work colleagues to discuss my work and to also ensure everyone in the team was feeling good from a mental health perspective. I feel it would be my duty to check in on my work colleagues often to make sure they were okay and that they felt supported in their work. I would also speak to my manager or supervisor regularly to keep them updated as to the progress I was making each day. I would send my manager an email update at the end of each working day so they knew how much work I had completed and the progress I was making against tasks and projects. That's a really good answer to that common interview question: how would you communicate effectively with a remote-based team? Here's the next question. What steps could we take to encourage customers to adhere to social distancing and hygiene rules? Now, this is a difficult interview question to answer, and it is likely to be asked during retail, store, and hospitality job interviews. Now, the question is assessing your understanding of what is required in respect of wearing face masks, social distancing, and general hygiene rules. So here's a great example answer to help you. What steps could we take to encourage customers to adhere to social distancing and hygiene rules? Here we go. There are numerous things we could do to encourage customers to adhere to the rules. First and foremost, we would have a duty to protect customers and to put systems in place to ensure they were safe. A risk assessment would need to be completed, and the premise would need to be cleaned regularly and ventilation increased. Now, social distancing signs would need to be put in place, and even perhaps a one-way system implemented to guide people around the store or the shop. Face masks would need to be worn and appropriate signage put in place to ensure this is adhered to. And from what I understand, we would need to refuse anyone entry who had been exposed to the disease or if they were showing symptoms. Finally, it would be important to ensure the track and trace details were placed in a prominent position within the store. That's a really good answer. Here's the next question. How would you keep yourself motivated whilst working from home? Now, this question is extremely common in job interviews right now, and it is used to assess what you are like from a self-motivation perspective. Here's my example answer to help you. How would you keep yourself motivated working from home? I keep motivated by maintaining a routine each day and by keeping a list of what I need to do. I also ensure I keep in regular contact with my work colleagues via the telephone and also via video conference calls. It is important to maintain strong communication links with your work colleagues and with your manager, as this can help to maintain motivation levels. After the working day is finished, I will go walking and I will do some exercise, as this helps me to keep a positive attitude whilst working from home. I also ensure I eat healthily and I avoid alcohol in the week, as this keeps my concentration levels high whilst I am working. To be truthful, whilst I am always willing and ready to return to the office when the time is right, I feel motivated wherever I am, because I always have plenty of work to be getting on with. That's a really good answer to that common interview question. How would you keep yourself motivated working from home? Here's another one. How would you manage a team remotely? Now, this interview question is commonplace for manager, supervisor, and team leader positions. In your answer, show you are someone who can still have control of your team whilst operating remotely. So here's another great answer to help you. How would you manage a team remotely? I would, first and foremost, hold a team briefing by video conference at the start of the remote working to set the standards of what I expected from everyone in the team. This would also give me the opportunity to talk about managing workloads, making sure all the team met their deadlines, and that they had the support needed from a mental health perspective. I would then hold regular telephone calls and online meetings with both individual team members and as a group. I believe this would be important due to the lack of social interaction, and I would be eager to take care of everyone's general well-being and keep track of progress. Finally, I would ask team members to send me regular updates on the work they were undertaking, as this would enable me to monitor progress against my own action points and objectives. That's a really strong, confident answer to that question. How would you manage a team remotely? Here's the next question. What have you learned about yourself during this pandemic? Here's my answer. I have learned that I am a positive person, and even though things are tough for everyone right now, I have used my time wisely. I have improved my professional skills by reading books and by undertaking a small number of online training courses via the website udemy.com. I have also learned that I am the type of person who is there for others when they need support. A few of my friends have suffered from a mental health perspective, and I have kept in regular contact with them throughout the pandemic to make sure they are okay and they feel supported. Here's another question. Are you prepared to work from an office once the pandemic is over? Absolutely yes. Providing it is safe to do so, which I'm sure it will be, then I will be ready to work at your office location once all this is over. Whilst I do enjoy remote working, I can't wait to interact with others again in an office-based environment, and I will be the first to come back to work once it is safe to do so. That is the best way to answer that question. Now, if you would like a copy of these slides, click that link right now in the top right-hand corner of the video. It takes you through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download these slides and also a further 21 great answers to common interview questions. It's a great resource. It will make a big difference to your performance at your interview, so make sure you grab yourself a copy of that guide. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that helps you, and I wish you all the best for passing your interview. Have a brilliant day.